So here we have the three decks. As you can see, I've taken the boat deck off, the Promenade deck and the bridge deck, the 13 screws I popped to one side. Now the problems that we're having basically is to do with cabling and getting it within these ribs. As you can see, these lines here, these all go in here where the Promenade deck is concerned. So you must make sure you get your cabling within these areas. As you can see, all mine are, even that little one is. So it's the outer edge, but don't have anything overlapping it. Yeah, that is one problem that we'll find. The other problem I found was this cable. Now this cable was routed differently in the magazine, but it kept getting in the way, so I rerouted it, as you can see it there, and it doesn't get in the way there. Just make sure it doesn't come over there. Get it just there like that, and that should be perfectly good. I forget how it was before, but it was getting in the way, and you can see this one has been, looks like it's been crimped as well, so just make sure you pull the wires through. But the most essential thing is to make sure that all these ribs, that's what they call them in the magazine, nothing gets in the way. Like this cabling, there's a little bit of tape there as well, but that's fine. That I think this one was originally caught. Yeah, that one's a little bit, you can see it's been crimped there, so that got caught. Now the other thing I found was the posts, these brown sticks. Now you can see there's one there, one there. Those are fixed in place. They've always been fixed in place ever since we fitted them. I don't know how long ago. Show you a close up of them. There we go. So they're glued in place, but what I've done is file them down, but they still fit into this boat deck. You can see there's one that's stuck in place. That's fine. That'll go in that hole there. There's a little hole here for that one, and there's the hole there, there, and there. Now I have had to make 3 more, 1, 2, 3, because when I took this off, them 3 were just, well, I think when I brought one anyway, and I brought the other 2 off because they were stuck in the bottom here, and I've drilled them out. I've drilled the holes out now, so I have got 3 that I can pop into place, that is one of them. Now, as you can see, it's silver at the bottom because it's metal. So what I'm going to do is glue that in there first. Right, let that set, make sure it's straight, and because it's bendable, more bendable than these plastic ones, I can get it into these bottom holes onto this Promenade deck, and that is important. There's another one, so that will glue in there. It won't stay in at the moment, and that'll be fine then. The only other thing is this lug here fits into there. Now some people have problems getting that in place, but once you get it in, these should fit nice and bonny. If where these brown sticks are concerned, these posts, you can glue them into the top, that's better. Get them into these holes, because it's very difficult getting them into these holes once they're in the bottom ones, because you can't see them obviously. Other than that, that is it. I did loosen a couple of screws further down where the grand staircase was concerned. That did help because it was actually pulling the boat deck down. So here we are, here's that cable again that I rerouted, and these 2 screws I did actually, like I say, loosened, and the deck then moved up a little bit. These little clips as well, they can be a pest. I have removed one of them, and everything was fine when I removed it. But I think that's about it really. The front of the boat deck fits perfectly. I always did. That was easy peasy. And then we got these 3 posts here, but they go into place, no problem whatsoever. So basically all I need to do now is to fit these posts at the back here. So I'll fit these posts here. There's a couple there, there's another one here I've got. There we go. I have painted them and they are a very similar colour to that. So I'll pop them into place, glue them, and then I'll show you how it all fits together. Okay, now I have glued these 3 posts, 1, 2, 3, and they're nice and solid. But obviously because it's metal, I can move them better than the plastic. Now, like I said before, all this cabling is fine now. Just make sure that K1, K2 and K3, you pull on them, take any slack away from all of this as well. But it's just a matter of keeping all this cabling in place. And like I said before, this peg here, you can see where my finger is, goes into that hole there. These other brown pegs, brown posts, they should be fine now. Okay, let's get this into place. These pegs again line up here, here and here. So basically, just for now, we'll line that up just like that. Yep, and then we'll pull K1, K2 and K3 through. There we go, take up that slack. Excellent. Now, like I said, getting them posts into place was difficult enough. That one seems to be lined up there alright, but it's that little, that big lug in that post. There we go, that's centered. Now them posts are fitted, yeah, don't exactly match up with these holes here. I'll show you a close-up of that. There we go, you can see they're slightly off. So, but because they're metal, I can move them into place. Now, even if you have the plastic ones in, there should be enough movement on them, but you need to glue them into the boat deck first. It makes it a lot easier, that, and the others should be exactly the same. This one here, all these two here, you can just see they're slightly off as well. Yeah, so it's just a matter of maneuvering them into place with a pair of tweezers, and then you're good to go, because all the rest should fit in no problem, because I know snagging cables. So basically now it's just a matter of going along the edge, making sure you get all them little pegs in them little holes. These strips can be a little bit of a problem here, because they do bind it together. So you may, if you have problems, getting this front end in, because all the back end here and the middle section is fine. And I did have to lift this end up, hold it at the back, and then just push it so they line up, but they're in place, so that's good. And here, yeah, as you look in, look at the promenade deck, and you can see if it's closed down or not onto the boat deck. Can't show you that really, because I don't want to break any davits. It's just a case of going around it all and getting it all nicely lined up. See here, it's jump tight because I need to screw it into place, but they are popping into place, so that's brilliant. Okay, now I've put all 13 screws in place. Everything, it seems to be lined up nice and bomby. Those posts, you can see, I won't say they were 90 degree at all, just shows you how out of line those posts were, but they are all in place. There you can see. And there we go, those three, they're all in the holes in the promenade deck and the boat deck, but I wouldn't say they are 90 degree angle, especially the end ones here. Only slightly out, but it goes to show that nothing's perfect, not even with these models. But it is better with wiring cable, sorry, with a thick gauge cable. I actually use the clamp to clamp this side down as well, so I've glued them into the promenade deck and the boat deck, so I'm not taking this apart again because it is perfectly alright. There we go, as you can see. It's all lined up, all 13 screws in, like I said, and it does all light up. There we go. These two screws again, here, under here, yeah, they're the second set of two screws. I loosened them off again because it bulged here a little bit on both sides. Just loosened it off and it sits flat, so it seems to pull the deck down, whereas it shouldn't. And this is where the grand staircase is as well. But anyway, there we go. So if that does help, that is brilliant. Well, there we go, folks. That is the decks in place. Everything is lit up, nice and bonny. Obviously I've still got a light on in here, but the light's still working. The decks are all together now. There shouldn't be an issue that I can't see an issue with the decks anymore. Everything seems fine. Like I said, the posts, the brown posts over here, they were the big problem for me. A couple of screws at the front at this grand staircase, loosened them off and the deck sat down nice and flat. Obviously the springs, or clips I should say, the metal clips, there's only one that I've not got, and that's on here. The other three are all in place, but it is just a matter of lining up those holes with the pegs. Start at the back, the aft section, because you saw that big lug, that's got to go into that hole, or that post. Pop that in first and then just line it up as you go along. I don't know what else to tell you really. Like I said, I did glue the post at the back here and I clamped it here until it's set, and that is nice and bonny now. It is just a matter of getting this boat deck around the ribs of the promenade deck. That is it basically. If there's any obstructions, it's probably a cable, but yeah, just watch how you dress your cables. I think the main issues I've seen is where the staircases are. That rocked a little bit, that's why I loosened the screws off, but it's sat in fine now. This one seems fine, but you can always check the promenade deck inside here. Just have a look, make sure it's nice and close. If not, you can always use a G-clamp. There you are, use a G-clamp, pop that on, and you can always glue it if you so need to. It depends on your cabling, of course, but before you do glue it, make sure you're absolutely 100% before you do glue it, otherwise you're going to have big problems. But that is looking fine now. Excellent. I'll get on the boat now. There we go. You can see that is all nice and flush. Here it fits into this well deck here. That's clipped into place, and as you can see, rolling along. There we go. All nice and bonny. That's the decks all aligned. There we go. There's a little bit of a gap just here. Well, that'll get sorted later on. Well, as a matter of fact, it's sorted now. Just need to press it down a little bit. There we go. But excellent. And the other side, there's port side. This is the starboard side, obviously. There we go. That's the port side. All nice and bonny. Bring this round a little bit. There you go. It's all nicely lined up. Excellent. So that's the decks in place. That's the deck placement. Obviously, I didn't show you the bridge deck and the promenade deck because that is quite straightforward. All the problems you'll get are with the boat deck. And for me, I keep going on about it, these posts. Well, that's the issues I've had, but everything else seems perfectly good. Excellent. I hope that helps anyway. Well, there we go, folks. I've just picked the ship up. There she is, looking nice and bonny. Yeah. There we go. I am masking parts of it off because I'm going to be doing some painting. But that is the shape as it is. As you can see, the decks are perfectly lined. Right, so there you go. Well, I hope that did help. Like I said, just to recap, two screws. The two screws here around this grand staircase, I loosened them off because it was dragging the deck down and making it bulge at the end. and then it was just the mass of these posts at the back here. But make sure you get the cable in within them ribs. Those ribs are for use of the promenade deck. You know, all the compartments of the promenade deck, they sit snugly around, so make sure there's nothing catching there. There you go. So if you did like that, give us a big thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you next month for the next 4 issues, yeah, of the Titanic. Excellent, brilliant stuff. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Stay safe. Bye for now.